All right, people. So I watched Smackdown for the first time in a while, and I gotta say I was not impressed at all. The word that came to mind when I was thinking words to describe this show is just bland. Just a bland show. Nothing surprising. Nothing entertaining. I wouldn't say it was terrible, but it just nothing special on this show. It reminded me of like I guess like a piece of turkey, but with no seasoning. Like turkeys are already bad on itself, like bad by itself. Like WWE is shitty. Same thing with turkey, but it's like turkey, but then you still don't add gravy or seasoning. It was just a shitty show. So let's go through the segments here. We start off with a Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Jey Uso, and Adam Pearce segment. Just a confusing promo. It like dragged on, and I didn't really get the point of it. Reigns is like asking all these questions to Adam Pearce, saying, "Well, do you think Vince McMahon's stupid? Do you think I'm stupid?" Like, I didn't get where it was going. I didn't get the point of it, and it just didn't make any sense to me. I know Reigns is doing this new gimmick where he's a heel. He's like the head of the table. I've heard some good things about it. Um, Obviously, Reigns' run as a babyface was a complete failure. So I mean, I hope he's doing better as a heel. Um, but I mean, it does look like he's doing better on the face of it. I just haven't watched enough to really make a you know determination for myself. But this was just a confusing promo to me. Weird way to start off the show. So apparently they're gonna do a gauntlet match to determine the person who's gonna face Reigns at the Rumble. Gauntlet matches are stupid in my opinion. They're dumb. Like if you got 4 or 5 people, just put them in a match together. Put them in a fatal 5-way match or a fatal 4-way match. Don't do fucking gauntlet matches. They just drag on, and I'll explain that in a minute here. Then we have Big E defeating Apollo Crews. It was an all right match. It wasn't didn't really have any moments in there that were that slow, which I appreciated. Like there was always shit happening. However, the double pin um, in the middle of the match, where the match was a tie, then it was restarted. That was pointless. It was stupid. It just interrupted the flow of the match, and it didn't do anything for the match as a whole. It was dumb. And I also had a problem. And these are just little details that I pick up on when I watch this show. So they do the suplex from the top rope. They do the double pin, and then they both get up right after that. Like, why aren't you selling that move? That's a pretty big move there. It's a fucking suplex from the top rope. You're falling, you know, a good amount of feet onto the fucking canvas, and you gotta sell that shit. But they just get right up like nothing happened. Like they're not like struggling to get up. They're not grabbing their backs. No, they just get right up. But those are little details that I see that I'm like, you gotta sell that. And it's just like there's no, sometimes I see that in WWE where wrestlers are not selling moves properly, where a wrestler gets put through a table and they're back on their feet in a minute. Just little details. And I thought this match was too short. I thought if this match went on for another 5 or 10 minutes, this could have been a really good match. It was going good, but I thought they prematurely ended it, and um, I thought the double pin interruption was stupid. So it was an all right match, but not a great match. Then we have Rude and Ziggler defeating the Street Profits. Another okay match here. Again, just nothing special, kind of just a basic match here. I saw Rude and Ziggler did, get their new champions. I don't know how prestigious or non-prestigious these tag team champions title belts are. Um, if I had to guess, probably they probably have very little prestige to them. It's a disappointment. Dolph Ziggler's been in this company now for what 10 years. He's been on the main roster for 10 years, I think, maybe even longer than that. And he's pretty much just been a perennial mid carder. He had like one shitty world heavyweight championship reign, but he's just been a perennial mid carder. Then we have this gauntlet match. And the one thing I'm confused about is who is the Raw or who is the SmackDown GM? I see this Adam Pearce guy wandering around backstage, every once in a while. Like, what the fuck is going? Like, who's the GM? So you got Adam Pearce making matches, but I guess he doesn't have full authority. Like, I guess he sometimes makes matches, but then you got Paul Heyman editing the match. Like, what the fuck is going on? You got Paul Heyman adding Adam Pearce into the match. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then later in the show, you got Roman Reigns telling people to ring the bell. Like, what? Like who's in charge of this show? Like, who? It's like you got Paul Heyman, who's the manager of Roman Reigns, making matches. You got Roman Reigns telling the referees what to do. It's like, who the fuck? You know, it's like people have roles. You know, like, what the fuck's going on here? I'm confused. So it's a gauntlet match between Bryan, Sami Zayn, Nakamura, Mysterio, Corbin, Pierce. And I gotta say, the only thing that I really found interesting on the show, where I look at a character and I say, well, that's interesting. That's, you know, that could be something good, is when Sami Zayn came out and started cutting his promo about a conspiracy against him. He had his camera crew with him. I thought that was kind of a nice comedic touch. It was funny. It was something. I mean, I guess you could say, you know, the whole Roman Reigns thing is interesting too. Again, I haven't watched that much. That's definitely better seeing him as a heel though than a shitty ass baby face. But the Sami Zayn thing I thought was entertaining, and then he gets fucking eliminated in like 20 seconds. So this match just dragged on and on and on and on, and then that's why I don't like gauntlet matches. You're just basically seeing 5 one-on-one matches. Instead, you could have like a fatal four-way match, and it could be more entertaining. You got King Corbin still calling himself a fucking king. I mean, what an embarrassment. This guy's waltzing around in the lower mid card calling himself a king. I mean, you look at people like Booker T, who was, you know, King Booker, an actual, you know, good character. Now you got a fucking guy wandering around with a plastic crown on, calling himself King Corbin when he doesn't do shit. At least Booker T was fucking world champ. He's feuding with people like Batista back in the day. Now you got King Corbin, a fucking loser. Nakamura, another perennial mid-carder. Like, this guy, I know a lot of people were high on this guy, but I'm like, this guy can't speak English. How is he going to cut a promo or be a legitimate character if he can't speak English? I don't care how good of a wrestler he is. Like, it's going to be really hard to develop this guy into a top star if he can't communicate with the WWE fans. Mysterio, you know, I mean, good character, but getting up there in age. I mean, he could still play a role on the show, but anyway, the match, and then Daniel Bryan. Good to see Daniel Bryan wrestling. You know, one of the, you know, a person who actually has charisma, a person who's a good wrestler. So I was happy to see him in this match. The wrestling between him and Nakamura was good at times, but I was a little bit disappointed because it looked a little sloppy at times. A couple botches in there, so I was a little bit disappointed actually between the wrestling between Bryan and Nakamura at times. And then at the end, the ending, Adam Pearce beats Nakamura because Roman Reigns comes out there and, you know, Jey Uso super kicks Pierce and attacks Nakamura, and then makes Pierce pin Nakamura, and that's our ending. So I don't know what they're doing. You got the Royal Rumble coming up in a few weeks, and they're either making a bad decision by doing Roman Reigns versus Adam Pearce at the Royal Rumble, which just it doesn't deserve to be on the Royal Rumble. I mean, that's not a Royal Rumble-esque match. Taking a guy who nobody has heard of, who's been a fucking producer the last 6 years, and putting him in the Royal Rumble, that's not a Royal Rumble style match. And then if they're gonna take this guy out of the match and put somebody else in, then you're just wasting time. Like, we got to get going here, people. We got only a few weeks left until the Royal Rumble. Like, these are precious weeks, and this match needs to feel special. This is going to be one of your top matches on the Rumble. So you better get building and stop fucking around with Adam Pearce. You know, if you want people to pay their hard-earned money to watch this shit. And not only pay their hard-earned money, but devote hours of their fucking lives to watch this shit. And just watching this show, it's like, how can you look at this show and be like, yeah, that was a really great show, you know? All I saw was bland promos, bland wrestling, nothing, and nothing special. You know, I just look at these characters. Like nobody has any character to them. Nobody has an interesting character to them. And Roman Reigns too. I know this. He's like the top star on SmackDown. When's he gonna cut out the fucking Shield shit? He's still got Shield music. He's on his own. He's been on his own for fucking 5 years, and he's done. He's still coming on to dun 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 dun. Get that fucking music out of there. He's on his own now. Why does he have Shield music? Did Triple H fucking have DX music during his singles runs? No. So why does Roman Reigns have fucking Shield music still? Get him new fucking music. So yeah, I mean, just a bland show. Like, I just look at these characters, and it's like there's no intrigue to me. I mean, when I look at Reigns, there is some intrigue there. You know, I find it a little bit entertaining, like how he's saying he's the head of the table. He's, you know, he pretty much saying like he's in charge of the locker room. He's the number one guy. He's responsible for everybody. Shit like that. Kind of like a passive aggressive, you know, silent leader kind of thing. Silent heel. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it is interesting, you know. It does bring some intrigue, but everybody else is kind of just bland, like an average heel, an average babyface. No character development, nothing about him that makes me say, "Wow, that's a great character right there." And characters are big in wrestling. Like, I look through these people that run this show. Like, what is Nakamura? What is his character? A fucking person who can't speak English. You know, Mysterio. Like, oh, I thought Mysterio lost a fucking eye, too. They referenced that in the match. Or like, oh, Mysterio's eye or something like that. I thought he fucking lost it. I thought he had a fucking iPad. What did they just forget about these fucking storylines? Like, they never even happened? Like, we don't have any fucking memory? Like, we're stupid? I guess maybe you could argue he got a fake eye. I don't fucking know. But they referenced that in the match. And they're like, oh, Mysterio's eye is still kind of injured or some bullshit. I thought he fucking lost the eye. What, do they sew it back in? But Mysterio's a fucking no. Like, he doesn't have any character to him. Daniel Bryan is still fucking chanting yes. I mean, like, these people, you know, Ziggler, what is he? Rude, what is he? You know, like, these Apollo Crews, does he have any character to him? So I just look at all these people, all these segments. There's just nothing that spices them up. There's nothing that makes you want to watch them. They're just basic matches, recycling the same shit over and over again, and recycling the same fucking matches over and over again, and the same basic segments over again. And that was one of my criticisms of this company. Just boring shit, basic shit, nothing that's like intricate in storyline. I mean, you would get every once in a while a diamond in the shit that was good, but for the most part, this company has like no creative talent whatsoever to create good storylines. I mean, you watch other shows out there, you know, on television, other movies. They have intricate storylines, complicated storylines, complex storylines that make you think, that make you intrigued, that make you root for people to win or lose in the show or whatever it may be. This company, no, they just got basic shit, fucking shit for eight. But then what can you expect? The show's driven for 8-year-olds. It's got a fucking script of like a SpongeBob, a basic fucking script, and the same shit over and over again because this show is created for fucking 8-year-olds. So I feel bad for people who are watching this shit over and over again, you know, every week, because you could really do a lot better things with your life than this. I mean, you could fucking sit on your fucking couch and stare at your fucking ceiling all day and do shit better than this. I mean, go for a walk, talk to people, have a cup of coffee, watch some sports, watch the news, anything other than watching this shit. I mean, I think I'd rather fucking pour bleach in my eyes than watch this. And by the way, the piped-in crowd noises, fucking annoying. The electronic Thunderdome screen, fucking annoying. But the thing I hate most is the piped-in crowd chants, because they're just annoying because you know they're fake. So why are you piping them in? They are fucking annoying. So that's all. I don't want to go on too long, people, because I'm sure my heart rate is up, my blood pressure's up, because whenever I talk about how shitty this company is, it kind of stresses me out a little bit. So there you go, people. There's my thoughts on SmackDown.